And you're live.
I'm sorry, I'm listening to Jason being appropriate. Way to go, Jason. Well,
you would have thought Daryl would have known
you know they're related somehow. Somehow in that gene pool, these two are related. Well, we are north. I'm aside from the coughing fit I just had. I'm not doing too bad actually. We are going south. Going to bring our snow. Drop it off along the way. And going to go visit family down in Georgia. It's been what? September. We came home in September. That's the last time we were there. That was a hell of a trip home. God.
Yeah.
The whole trip was rough for you.
Oh, God, it was.
Really having a hard time.
It's taken me this long where I finally I'm feeling a little bit of normalcy. Not a whole lot, but I don't know what normal is, so. We got 18 watching, 11 thumbs up. Folks, make sure you go over into the description. Get that link for the wheel. Your chance to win a $2 bill.
We don't do. Oh.
Just printed them. What?
Can I get to be on the wheel too?
Well, sure you do. Doesn't matter if you're a guest.
Where the hell?
We'll send you two $1 bills. and if you're a member and you win, you get your membership back to you. Which Misty, did you get yours? You should have got it last week.
Oh look, there's Daryl.
There's Daryl. Well, I just kind of wanted to.
He's over by that bathroom.
No, I just sort of wanted to ask everybody that's in the chat there if they see this. What I'm pointing my finger to over here on the background. If anybody out there can identify what this is, and no, it is not an outhouse.
Obviously, the one there on with the hat that'll be on the screen here in a little bit doesn't know what it is. It took us so many years to find it, and we drive past it almost every time we go there. Well, it depends on the route, what Google Maps gives us.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool.
Isn't it crazy how it's like right there? Like,
yeah.
Don't drive by.
Mm-hmm.
You introduced yourself just fine with your cute little joke.
Might as well bring them on so they can see their wonderful faces.
Yeah, I guess we'll bring them on. I've not seen anybody respond to my question, though.
No. Yeah, Mama Z knows what they are.
Okay.
They were there.
And what's her name said so too?
Yep, City Girl. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see Terry's.
Yep, City Girl Country Art. Yep.
No. All I got from Terry was running her mouth about how she got her picture. Oh, there it is.
Well, here they are.
They're George's Guidestone, Mama Z.
There they be.
And that's a good-looking couple right there on the screen right now, ain't it? Woo!
Not as much. No.
So how's your new cows doing? Did you name them and I missed it?
Yes.
Yes.
Velma and Louise.
Cool. Those are cool names.
Selma's the older one, and Louise is the sprite. Heifer.
So Jason, why are you parting your beard? You not just want to have a single beard, or you want?
No, it's natural. It's a natural part.
It's a natural.
It just naturally.
It just naturally does that for real. I don't know.
It just does.
I mean, I could be nasty and.
Yes.
Oh, anyway. But yeah, it just naturally does that. It's a little bit thinner right in here for some reason.
That's because you and the girl.
That's probably where
y'all are always grabbing it. Well, I'm not giving you all the attention that you think you deserve at that time.
I thought maybe that was just a drool line through the middle of that.
No, not a drool line, but it may be where the tacos go.
Straight to his shirt.
So what's going on at Big Bear Homestead in this upcoming year?
What's going on with Big Bear Homestead this upcoming year? A lot.
We basically, well, to be able to answer that question, we do got to kind of back up a little bit, and we kind of maybe even come clean a little bit. Those of you that notice, Robin has been doing a lot of the videos for about almost a year now. Mm-hmm. And what happened was that I got a TBI while I was in the Marine Corps, unbeknownst to me. And I kind of got TBIs before a TBI was really even known.
Which, for anybody who doesn't know what a TBI is, that's a traumatic brain injury. And
I've always had issue, like if you watch some of the older videos and some of where we would put the bloopers near the and you would see me struggling with words, or if you're a member of our channel, at level 2 or 3, they get blooper reels at the end of the month, and they'll tell you straight up that I was stumbling a lot of words and was having memory issues and stuff like that. And then we had an accident that happened here on the farm that took Apollo's life, and then everybody wanted to start to stand up and pay attention to what I was saying for months, that I knew that there was something wrong with my head. I knew there was something wrong with my brain, and nobody paid attention.
Well, to be fair, what was going on inside his head was him, but what we were seeing outside could be explained away by just being distracted or different other things. But then when this happened,
look at her. She used to accuse me of getting old. It wouldn't be about me.
But then when this thing happened, it became very apparent that it was not just a little thing here and there. It's pretty big. Yeah. And what was really bad was, see, I'm full-time working, so 8 to 5 every day, I'm not here. And when all of the filming was going on, Jason was also doing the editing and posting the videos. So I never got to see all of the, mess ups and blooper stuff and all of that. And when I didn't really realize just how bad it was until we started editing the first blooper reel. And I sat out here and cried. And he came out here and he was like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "I am so sorry I didn't see this sooner." And it's because I wasn't here to see it during the day. And all of that got edited out before I got a chance to see it. Mm-hmm. So fast forward, we identified the problem.
And then I had to go through a bunch of tests and failed them miserably. And then they sent me to this TBI clinic, and I had an extremely long conversation.
Like 3 hours.
With, I call him Dr. Magoo because I can't remember his name.
I can't even. He's retired now.
Yeah, but he's retired. Crazy. And they started doing a lot of blood work and different stuff, and I was extremely deficient in vitamin D. Mm-hmm. They put me on a vitamin D supplement, an omega fish oil supplement. I call it Ritalin.
Ranitidine. They put him on a bunch of stuff to kind of get everything, because basically what happened is when he first started talking about these memory issues, they sent him to a pain clinic. And they said the reason why his memory was bad was not because his brain wasn't actually remembering things, it was that he was so distracted by his pain that he wasn't able to pay attention to something, therefore he couldn't remember it. And they even did try to do the same thing with his hearing. They would say that he was so distracted with other things that it wasn't that his hearing was bad, it was just that he wasn't focused and listening. So this was becoming a trend that I know, it was funny. I already saw it.
One, hello, gold dog.
So that was kind of the theme, was they kept trying to say it was pain. So when they first started testing him for all of this stuff, they said, look, we need you to get your pain under control, your reflux disease under control, get everything under control first so we can make sure that it's not something there that's causing the memory. Because they still weren't convinced that it was a memory issue. So it was a very long process of trying to get his acupuncture, routinely done.
Yes, thank you, Donald.
Doing a bunch of different stuff with that. And then when we finally got to where we got everything under control, they put him through an occupational therapist and a speech therapist, and they both basically said, your memory is horrible. We can't teach you anything. Because when we try to teach it to you, you won't be able to, you won't be able to convert it over. So,
and you've said that for years.
Then that kicked me over to the
TBI
clinic. And then they started running their tests. So long story short, we're still in the process of dotting I's, crossing T's, and getting, what's it called? All the duckies in a row. But the treatments and stuff that they've been doing so far has worked wonders.
Hold on. There are no treatments. Basically what they've done is they've given him a bunch of systems that we've had to put in place. There's nothing that's going to this is the thing that I always have to try and explain to my kids. His memory is not going to get better. He has systems in place that help him to remember things. We have an Alexa, couple Alexas throughout the house. He carries a voice recorder with him. If there's something that's important, he needs to record it. What?
No.
He has a lot of different systems in place to make sure we have a very, everything's routine. So that he knows Tuesdays and Thursdays he's supposed to do this. Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays he knows he's supposed to do this. And so all of those routines being put in place is what has helped him to remember things.
Well, it's good that he has that.
Well, let me
with the vitamin D and all of the other stuff things that I'm taking, I actually started to feel a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
And they put me on a CPAP so that way I sleep better at night, and so I started really kind of coming out of a brain fog. And I looked around. One, I was like, "Holy cow, I'm fat! I need to do something about that." And then I really started looking at how my homestead and everything was set up, and I didn't like what I was looking at. And so Robin and I sat down and we decided, okay, we're going to work on the front half this year and then the back half next year. So that way we're not biting off more than we can chew at one time, and I don't get stressed out or frustrated or anything, and we can put little things on a project or on the schedule, little jobs each day on the schedule, and we can manage it and do it. And so far, I've taken out, I don't know, half a dozen trees.
Oh, way more than that. Way more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I took out that big monster tree, the one that's right there by the gate, if y'all remember correctly, when you first come in, that big oak.
Yeah. There's a big big tree right there in the front. Well, there was a big tree. Right
the one that was on the left, driving in.
Yep.
Yep, it's not there anymore.
It's gone.
Yep.
And they come down with a big boom.
That's the one that knocked the chainsaw out of your
And we kind of, we done all that, so we're running dairy cows up there with chickens behind them. We pretty much tripled the size of the garden. We're going to be adding soft fruit where that big oak that was in the center was at, because we dropped that. Kyle came up with his sawmill and he helped us drop that one along with Chris D's Naturally NC, the man part of Naturally NC.
The man part.
And
I forget what it is, but it's the man part.
I'm gonna have to ask her, what's your man part?
Yeah.
She's really gonna wonder.
They helped us drop that, and we dropped a bunch of pecans while Kyle was here, and he milled them up, and I'm gonna be turning those guys this year into some more cutting boards as soon as I get precious time. But we're pretty much, we kind of just took our homestead and we turned it upside down and shook it, and then started pushing stuff away and just started rebuilding one thing at a time.
It's hard when you have as much as we've done over the years. You look around and you go, well, I'm doing all this stuff, but am I really doing all of it? Like, are we thriving or are we surviving? And really, up until now, maybe for the last 2 or 3 years, we've just been surviving. There's been no thriving. So we're hoping this year, well, we're not hoping, we're claiming it. It's going to happen. And it already is, because, you know, it's been amazing. Those dairy cows have lit a fire here to be more sustainable. I watched my girls, you know, 3 weeks ago, nobody wanted to wake up at 6:30 in the morning. They really didn't. I was the only one up at 6, and then they would kind of peel out about 7 because the sun wasn't even up yet, you know?
Well, I know about those hours.
Yeah. And now everybody's getting up at 6:30. We all sit down, have a cup of coffee together. Girls will have some hot chocolate. And then we'll go out at 7, and the milking it's a whole family affair. Carol starts doing some of the feeding. Jason will bring the cows in. Ladessa and I will milk. And I basically milk until it's time to go to work. So it's a full, you know, all hands on deck kind of situation. And I think honestly, it's bringing us all closer together.
Yeah, it's back, like when we first started 14
or 15 years ago.
15 years ago, it was a family affair. And the the excitement really all started with that first white egg from the chicken. Because we started with quail. Quail was our gateway animal. And then it went to the chicken, and I think the excitement all started when we all went out to that. The girls were uber little, and we had that one egg, and everybody was around the stove while you were cooking it, and everybody was excited, and you freaked out because you thought there was something wrong with the chicken because the yolk was standing up like it was supposed to.
I'd never seen a fresh egg before.
And there's nothing wrong with the egg. No, it just got out of the chicken clutch. There ain't nothing wrong with it. It's fresh. And then we grew zucchini. It's about the size of softball bats because we let them stay on there a bit too long.
Well, what happened is we didn't have space. Like, we didn't really know much. I didn't know much about spacing. So when we planted everything, you had these big, huge squash leaves, and it was just this big, long line of squash leaves. So you don't see the zucchini until you pull those squash leaves back. And, you know, we pull them, and they'd be like that long. That was the year we started making zucchini boats.
No,
and
it was not zucchini boats.
Zucchini yacht.
Zucchini yacht.
They were cute. One zucchini would feed, and at that time it was just Carol. Odessa hadn't been born yet. And, it would feed all four of us. And, and so just one zucchini. So it was good times. Yeah.
Well, I do want to kind of interject here for just a moment. I have noticed, I'm one of these people that did notice that she has been doing most all the video work. And I think you're doing one hell of a job.
Thank you.
Yeah, she's a lot better at it than me.
It's a different style.
It is.
It's a different style.
Different.
And I think that if you continue this, it's more interesting, in my opinion. These videos that you're putting out today are more interesting.
They flow more. No, no. What the difference is, Daryl, is that when we first started our channel, we strictly started it to be a teaching channel.
I understand.
And Jason's background is in teaching. Like when he was in the Marine Corps, he had people under him, he had to teach. And so he's always been that teacher mentality. And I think when we first started, before YouTube was really entertainment, where it was more like a living encyclopedia, that's where we went with it, and so that's how we always been treated it. And then when everything started to evolve into the whole vlogging style and stuff like that, everything kind of flipped, and we were still doing teaching, which, a lot of our videos, our big videos, are all evergreen teaching videos, how-tos.
Yep.
But I think what we're finding now is that we can still we can marry the evergreen in with a vlog. We can still be vlogging, but still manage to teach people in that vlog. So I think that's kind of where we're at now. Like, we just put one together that'll be out tomorrow. And it's a very good, informative video. And I think really what we've found is that rhythm of being able to have a couple of breaks in there where we're not just putting B-roll out. We're actually taking almost a little commercial break with just a little bit of B-roll and some music. And that kind of seems to help everything flow along a little bit better. It was funny the first time I really did that. Jason sat down and watched the video. And I was like, well, it's really long. It's like 12 or 13 minutes. And he was like, oh, it'll be okay. And then when it was done, he was like, that was 12 minutes? I was like, yeah. And I was like, well, did you like all those breaks in there? And he's like, what breaks? And I'm like, okay, that needs to work.
That did it.
So,
yeah, I just
kind of been playing around with it, but I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to acknowledge that I think you guys are doing a hell of a job with your latest videos. So,
thank you.
It was hard work, but I got it.
It all started, believe it or not, right around COVID. In 2020, we were trying to get some videos going, and with our visitors that were here, and with Blaze getting ready to go into the military, Jason just had his hands full. And so I got so frustrated, we hadn't put out a video. I was like, well, I'll figure this out. And so I went out here and started banging on some keys, and next thing you know, there was a video.
So let me ask a question. I don't know, it might be a little pointed, and you might just want to say, well, let's not talk about it now. But the deal that you have with your TBI, was this? I'm going to guess this is service related. Let me ask you that first. Mm-hmm. Okay, was this from an injury, or was this just because of the overall stress?
From an injury. Multiple.
So you were injured in the service.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason why you were discharged, right? Because of the injuries?
No.
No?
No, I'm old Marine Corps.
Old school.
They didn't really know anything about PBIs when I was a kid.
Right.
You know? And we didn't really learn about TBIs until everybody was coming home from the Iraq War and everything, and the stuff that we were doing back then, if you got your bell rung or, you got knocked out or,
something as simple as the pupil sticks during basic, like when they're, when they get knocked real good with the pupil stick, I mean, that's enough to kind of what he calls ringing your bell.
Mm-hmm.
But they attributed all of that, and then I had one situation with IED in overseas that it threw me out of building, knocked me out of a 2-story building, and that's where most of it came from.
Wow.
But then when you add all of the little stuff with it that went along the way, it just kind of added up,
Okay.
And it was just one of those. It's just one of those things that it went almost 20 years with not ever getting checked, because they didn't, they didn't know, and it really wasn't. I mean, love him or hate him, President Trump did amazing things for veterans, and he pushed the choice program and got it going. And as far as from my point of view, that makes
at least our experience.
That makes him one of the best presidents,
Mm-hmm.
But it's just one of those. It is what it is, and mine just got worse over time because it went untreated.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think there's the other thing that looking, hindsight's 20/20, and when you start looking, or I start looking back, there were a lot of things I attributed to his PTSD that probably were his TBI starting to get progressively, not worse, but starting to progress. And so I think sometimes, because that's one of the things that Terry's asking. She asked, if someone has a brain injury like that, will it cause how their attitude to others is? Yes, absolutely. It
I've
can.
always had the same attitude.
It can do that. It can.
Well, it can put you. I think it makes depression harder to fight. Everybody gets down in the dumps. You have a bad day, or you have, you lose a family member, or you become sad. It's unplugged and not believe you're cold. And then there's probably been multiple times that I was, also fighting depression at the same time, with it. Because, your brain does a lot of stuff, and it controls a lot of stuff. And, so depending on which part gets bruised and if it heals correctly, or, because your brain is just sitting in there floating in water, basically that's the dumbed down version of it, how they explained it to us. And that if, you bop it around a little bit,
It can be a problem.
You can bruise it.
Mm-hmm.
And if the bruise doesn't heal correctly, or you don't do what you're supposed to do to help it heal, then you have long-term effects with it.
Mm-hmm. Does it also change mood swings? Yes. One thing I will say is that once we got things, because here's what happens, Terry, is there's some things that could be induced just by anxiety. So if he can't remember where he put his keys, and now he's panicking because he can't find his keys and he's running late.
The panic is not the right word.
Okay, it's frustrated, whatever word you want to use. There's a reaction to him not finding his keys. So then he starts self-deprecating because he's like, I should know where my keys are. This is a simple thing. Why can't I find my keys? And then that just it just snowballs downhill.
It messes with your confidence. It messes with your self-value, your self-worth a little bit, and it really messes with you because when you're going through it and, you know that something's wrong, but everybody wants to attribute it to old age or being distracted or this or that. And at least with my point, I knew there was something not right. I wanted them to do blood work because I thought, well, maybe it's a hormone thing. Maybe it's this. Maybe it's that. Because there would be times that I couldn't find something or I couldn't articulate what I was trying to say. Then I'd get mad, and I would kind of fly off the handle, and so it probably made me really, really hard to live with, and probably made me hard to deal with. I mean, there's probably some people out there I might owe an apology to. I don't remember stuff.
I don't remember.
But at the end of the day, I think I'm not really going to dwell on that. I'm feeling like really good. I'm able to get up, before cows came, I was able to get up, exercise. Now my exercise is cows. And just really start to, it's Steve from Old Ways, New Times. He has a TBI similar. Ours was kind of similar. And, he looked at me and we were talking on the phone about it, him and I, and he said, you have to look at everything now as like you're trying to eat an elephant. And you have to eat this elephant one bite at a time. So you need to focus on that bite. Cutting it off the elephant, getting it on the fork, putting it in your mouth, chew, 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 swallow. Mm-hmm. And then once you swallow, then you can go on to the next thing. And so I've kind of adopted my saying when I'm looking at a big project that I want to do, like we're redoing the one, barn. We took all the tin off of the sides. Well, we've been taking tin off the sides for a while, but we're starting to rebuild what we used to call the hay barn and making it our milking barn. Mm-hmm. And so I have to go in there and I've got to redo studs and the whole roof needs to be redone, but I'd like to change it from a flat roof to an A-frame roof. Mm-hmm. I think it may be a little bit out of my skill set. Debating not whether or not I'm going to try to bite that off or call my roofing guy that found the leak with the roof on the house that I couldn't find and see what he'd quote me to do it, because it's kind of a big job. Mm-hmm. And I just gotta look at it okay, I gotta go around and reframe everything on how I'm gonna do the exterior with what type of siding I'm gonna put on it. And so I know I need to have this, so I need to go around and do that. And I'm just doing it, and I just look at it as, okay, I gotta reframe stuff, mm-hmm. So that's my first bite. Mm-hmm. Well, really the first bite was cleaning everything out of it, because that place was like a catch-all.
It really was.
And then, then my next bite was framing everything, and then we started making this crazy weather, so I had to real quick pivot, and then wrap and make 2 little stalls real quick to be able to get the cows out of the bad weather, and just keep doing that one time.
I think one of the big things that's probably, we're talking about putting systems in place, like he said, when he couldn't find his wallet or he couldn't find his phone or he couldn't find his keys, those would cause an anxiety, which would then make everything 10 times worse. Just like, for instance, when you're running around a property chasing a cow and you're looking for something to fix a fence and you can't find it, that gets frustrating because just no memory stuff or anything, just not having something in its place and you spend 20 minutes looking for it, that's frustrating enough. Everybody's been there. So imagine that on a daily basis when you're sure you put something where it's supposed to be and it's not there. And so one of the things that we've done, I saw somebody in here talking about not being able to find their phone or their keys. There is a product called Tile. Look it up. It is an amazing little piece of technology. You have little squares or tiles that you can put on your key ring. You hook it up to your phone through Bluetooth, I guess it is. And if you can find your keys, but you can't find your phone, then your keys will help you find your phone. If you have your phone, but you can't find your keys, the phone will help you find your keys. They also have one that goes inside your wallet that looks like a credit card, slides inside your wallet. So that way, if you can't find your wallet.
We got one into the glove box of the car. Mm-hmm. So if I have to go to Walmart and whatever, I can, and I don't remember where I parked the car, even though I've gotten pretty good at setting things up, so I always remember that. But I got one in the car.
But see, that's the point right there. He knows he's not going to remember where he parked. He has to park either in somewhat of the same spot, or he'll do something with his phone so that he knows, where he's at. And it's not that and it's so funny because God love Ladessa. She is still that sweet little innocent kid, and every once in a while she'll come to me and she'll be like, Mom, I think Daddy's memory's getting better. I'm like, okay. But, we had to sit our girls off to, sit them down and say, look, it's more important now than it ever has been for you to put stuff where it belongs, because every time you don't put it where it belongs and Daddy can't find it, that's where the anxiety starts, and that's where everybody's day starts to get bad, because when it's just like when Mama's upset, the whole house is upset, and Daddy's not happy, nobody's happy. And I mean, that's pretty much anything with anybody. If one person is not happy, it affects everybody. And so that's the thing that I think was the biggest part, is that once we started recognizing these things and putting systems into play to make sure that stuff doesn't happen, that's where the brain fog and the attitude of being able to do more kind of picked up, because he didn't have to worry about that stuff anymore. That stuff was all maintained, and so now he didn't have to worry about not being able to find his keys, or not being able to find whatever, or, can't find a hammer. We got to the point where I bought like 10 hammers, and we put them everywhere. So there's like, you're gonna find one somewhere, So that's been very challenging, but we're making it happen now.
So all of that, and to be honest with you, this is the first time that we've ever talked about it publicly. There was, really, I think y'all knew, Jess and Jeremiah knew, and the Hollers. And that was it. That was the only people that knew. I think did we tell Sid Tori?
I think so.
I think we told Sid Tori too.
Yeah.
And put on, everybody was kind of sworn to secrecy, and everybody kept my secret for me. I love everybody for that. Because, I won't say it's a little bit embarrassing, but to me, it's a little bit embarrassing, And, but looking at moving forward now, and with things going and the momentum, momentum kicking in and everything, like I said, I looked at our homestead and I was like, I can do so much better than this.
He actually, I'm going to brag on him for a second. He actually sat us down and apologized to me and the girls. He was like, I am so sorry. I have been in such a fog over the last couple of years. Like, I don't even know how you guys have been doing it. Like, y'all have done a good job, but we can do so much better. When you have everybody working together, it's a much better thing. So.
And so, my buddy, my new friend Jay, really, he's not a new friend anymore. He's pretty much an old friend now. He's been around long enough. And, he went out and bought a tractor and then his business exploded. And so his tractor was just sitting on the land that he bought down the road a piece. And it was just kind of sitting there, and his business takes him out of town.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, man, I'm going to bring my tractor over, break it in for me, beat it up, do whatever you need to do with it. And when I need it, I'll come pick it up. I'm like, all right, okay. And it's was it a Mahindra?
No, it's not Mahindra.
What is it? It's the Indian one. It's,
oh wait, it is Mahindra.
Yeah, Mahindra.
Yeah, it's not.
If you're looking for a tractor, don't buy that one.
Don't buy that one.
He brought it over, and I mean, it was working great, and everything was going good. But it got 19.7 hours on it, and the fuel line exploded in my garden.
Yep.
And that's a known issue with them for like years, and they haven't fixed
it. Yeah.
And so he's got a great warranty with it, but it's now, to replace the fuel line, it's now going on the second week or third week.
Third week.
Sitting in the shop.
Mm-hmm.
So the tractor with a 7-year warranty doesn't do you really good if it busts at 19.7 hours and then it spends 2 years in the thing.
So I wanted to read a couple things I think you probably missed. Geeky Garden says, Jason, recognizing the issue is probably the hardest part, but you did that and you got this. And then a few comments down the road later. He said basically that you now have a lot of, now that you've told everybody, now you got a lot more people to help support you. And Kyle said he's going to have to stop and kick your butt for not asking us for help. Also, Kyle. And also, he's going to steal some milk.
So Kyle's the whole reason why we got 2 cows.
Goldshot, Morgan said Mahindras are so bad.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, I mean, I'm really grateful that Jay's letting me to use the tractor, and I think he's really grateful that I'm breaking it in and using it. Now, he got a new bush hog that went with it, and I can't remember the name of the bush hog. But it was expensive.
But it was a beast.
But it's a beast.
Yeah.
And so I think when I go and we go to get ours, I think that's the bush hog I'm going to end up getting. And but I'm going to do a whole review of Jay's setup on a video once we finally get the tractor back. But that tractor has helped us really kind of get things kick started with where things are. Like if y'all came back, if Sid and Tori came back, even if Jess and Jeremiah came back and visited, and the last time that even Jess and Jeremiah were here, our place has changed so much.
Well, if any of y'all that have been here, if you just kind of pay attention in the last few videos, I've been kind of walking around, and you can kind of, if you get yourself oriented with where I'm walking around, you can see that a lot of stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah. True.
All right. Let me put you on pause here for just a moment. We're going to go ahead and spin the wheel here once. So if you don't have your name on the wheel, you've all been told. You've had plenty of opportunity.
The link never came up.
But we're going to go ahead and we're going to spin the wheel now once. We'll do it again later. So let me bring it up.
No, it's already done. Click to spin or press Control Enter. Wow, that's really busy.
I think it said Big Bear Homestead.
Wow, she got it again?
She got it again.
Lucky. She's very lucky.
She needs to go play the lotto.
All right, Mama Z's Texas Kitchen was the winner for the $2 bill.
That's awesome.
And that's another channel to watch this year and next year.
Yep.
She did a phenomenal job when she was living in the apartment with her container garden. And now that she's moved out to her family farm, family homestead, I'm expecting great things from her. And if it doesn't happen, then I'm going to talk bad about her because I've been talking her up. And if she doesn't, I'm going to talk bad about her. I'm telling you right now. Right here on Two Family Homestead Live, I will talk bad.
So Aaron said, you have done so many things on your farm. It's looking good. So they were just here a couple weeks ago. 2 weeks ago.
So I could go through the list here.
I'm also...
I could go through the list here with some names that are not on this wheel. Like Morgan, you could for sure fill out that form, get your name on the wheel. There's the St. Bernard Acres. Some guy by the name of Joe, I'm sure could do that.
He's cute as St. Bernard.
Yeah.
Vineyard Chicks, I don't think your name is on the wheel. Hike with Mike, I'm not sure I've even seen you in here.
It's been a while.
I think this is the first time tonight I've seen you in here. And I don't see your name on the wheel. Dogs and Dragonflies, you are on the wheel. Congratulations. Windswept, I think you are on the wheel. No, I don't see you on the wheel. Windswept, I do not see you.
You can't put Mr. Windswept on the wheel. I don't care if he fills it out or not.
So anyway, the link is in the description below, or I'm sure one of our moderators or something can pop that link in. And we're going to draw it one more time later here this evening. Not all that much later. We've already been on for
45 minutes.
No, almost 50.
Time flies.
Almost 50, so time flies.
Yeah.
Thank you, Morgan. I see you filled her out. So you get to see some of that behind.
Wish we could get away for another visit with y'all. Anytime, Brenda, you can just no licking the fence.
Anyway.
For real.
God, that was a night, wasn't it?
I asked a simple question.
Well,
we never got the question answered. We got into all this other.
I don't remember what the question was.
The question was, what are your plans for your homestead this year?
This year? We did answer that.
We're redoing the whole front. We've got the front acre is all for the dairy cows and the egg mobile. Then right where the crepe myrtles start, how we had that path right there.
Okay.
Remember?
Yeah.
From there to the well house is garden.
Okay.
And then that garden goes from the driveway, it'll go over to where that big oak was. And then in there I'm gonna build some different types of greenhouses. I'm gonna build one out of a cattle panel, because Robin just absolutely loves those. I'm gonna probably build one for Ladessa out of the stuff because Blaze bought us that Harbor Freight one, and the frame was just horrible. Mm-hmm. And so I'm probably going to build just basically that one, but I'm going to just build a wooden frame for that one.
And use the panels.
And then use the panels. And then I would like to try my hand at building a window greenhouse. So we're going to put 3 or 4 greenhouses down in there if we don't get the grant for the hoop house. And then on the other side of that, we're going to plant more soft fruit, kiwis, strawberries, raspberries, blackberries, and the grapes. And then that'll go all the way almost to the fence line. And then in that one area, I don't know if y'all have ever been over there, but I know Sid and Tori have, and Jess and I have. But anyway, there was like a lean-to kind of shelter over there that we had for cows and pigs and stuff. We're tearing that down, and we're going to build that area up for the honeybees. And then as you go down, when you get to the beginning of where the grapes are, to the fence, we've cleared a lot of that out too. And we're going to put nurseries there. We're going to put like a first oink and a first bath, probably a first moo. And then if we get sheep, there'll be another bath. Or, just so that way, we have more control. Control's a bad word, but
organization.
a more easier access to the mom, to the babies, and more of a confined area because we've been through every type of scenario. Knock on wood, that you could probably go through with birthing. We've had a Yorkshire pig that prolapsed. We've had to pull calves. We've had moms that
didn't take care of babies
and just shunned them. We've had, babies that we had to jump in and intervene right away because they were having issues, and we've lost some because we've had piglets born or a calf born in the middle of the night because it came early or it was late, and the coyotes got it,
or the elements
elements speed it up.
Yeah.
And so at least this way, it'll be a more controlled environment for birthing. Because I really don't want to lose another animal to something that I could either have helped by pooling, or lose another animal because I got a bad mom.
Well, like we've been fortunate. I always hear about people with goats, worrying about goat birthing, and we've been fortunate. All of ours happened, for the most part, have happened towards the middle of the day. So, we had the very first one that we had came overnight, but everyone after that's been pretty much the middle of the day. So we've been around for them.
And so we'll do that, and then the goat area will follow that. And then I want to move the red barn down and over to where the leach field is. You can't grow anything there. And put it down there, let it settle for a year, and then maybe build like a patio on it. And
overlooking the pond.
And then start working on Robin's outdoor kitchen.
But that'll be next year.
And then, it may not be, I don't know. And then the following year, the next year, we'll start back on the back side of the pond, and we're either going to put an orchard in there, because we're going to remove what we call the pride pen out of there. And so we're either going to put a fodder garden to grow fodder vegetables for animal feed, or we're going to put an orchard there. And then we'll redo all the fencing and stuff for the front pasture, which then we will run meat birds there on one side, pigs on the other, and then that'll go all the way to the back pasture. And back there, I'm just going to keep that within myself because I got Mr. Windswept helping me, and there's going to be something really special back there. And it'll all go back there, and then I'm going to divide that very back spot up where you bounced that coyote and it ran up towards Blaze and he about pooped himself. That area back there we're going to turn into some food plots and different things for
deer,
for Ladessa and me to hunt, and for Carol to go out there and take her wildlife pictures during the off season.
So, Vineyard Chick said they lost a calf last month. They never saw her eating, and the second night a predator got into her belly. I think we should have probably bottle fed instead. Yeah, that's one thing, one thing we've learned with mamas and babies, and I think our big one was with pigs, is you have to pay attention to the animals, making sure that they're latching on to mom, and that they're getting that colostrum, and that they're really processing that food. And that's just something that's going to come with experience. And you guys are so young, I know it stinks, but that's a lesson you won't forget. You'll always pay attention from now on.
Well, I mean, that's another example, because that's happened to us.
Mm-hmm.
Where I want those little tiny areas, there's no doubt, because cows will be the first ones that if you don't spend, like with the dairy cows, I go up there and I make sure I talk to them every day. I'm putting my hands on them every day. I'm loving on them every day. But I turn them into divas because now they won't get out of the milk extension until I brush them. And that's fine. Because if, God forbid, something ever happened, where they would get out of the electric fencing, or a pack of feral dogs comes up and starts running them, or whatever, once they settled down and they saw me, I wouldn't be like we were with Freckles or some of the beef cow where we had to run them 5 and 6 miles. They would stay right there and I could walk right up and then click my leash on them and walk them back to the house.
Right.
And
So,
honestly, I really feel like that recommendation from Sam was brilliant. And I think I said it in the video that we have, what?
Yes. Live on YouTube.
So,
you know how much trouble Karen is going to have to deal with now.
He suggested that and I think this all kind of started when Vineyard Chicks was asked, they were asking us about, what to do with their cow. And he made the suggestion that we set up a corral and that we give them really long lead ropes and we leave them in that corral to where we can get to them and put our hands on them, and so we're not chasing them around a big pasture like we've done in the past. And that has been huge because by the time that I put out our first video about them being difficult, we had already licked that because they were already starting to walk with us, and Jason, all Jason has to do.
You should not be a house. I love you, but if they're difficult in the morning, I'm going to remind you of you just saying that we licked and being difficult. You just totally jinxed us.
You're the one that said, I'll be able to walk right up to them and click them and walk them on. Yeah, let's see if they get loose.
Yeah, but I didn't say I could do that right now.
Oh, okay. Anyway. So, yeah, they're very... Now, Louise is still a heifer, so she's still very playful. And so, Jason will get the leash on her and start to walk her down the driveway, and she'll just get a tickle.
She starts out with starting to lean on me. And we're walking and she's leaning and I'm like, oh, she just wants me to put my arm around her. So I'll put my arm around her and she continues to lean and she's purposely trying to walk me into the ditch. So I have to push back. And so we look like a snake coming down the driveway because I'm pushing, she'll push, I'm pushing. And then she sees the milking barn and she's like,
takes
rain time, and she does this jump like a twist thing, and she goes to take off, and I'm like, whoa, and then we'll come around, we'll hook the corner and come around, and then I got to start running because once she sees the stanchion, it's on.
You can let go of the leash, and she runs straight into the stanchion and puts her head down.
But I can't let go of the leash on the other hand because she may step on it.
Right.
And everything like that.
But he's gotten to the point where he throws the leash. He did it tonight. He's tossing the leash through the milk stand.
We were standing down there like Johnny Bench. He was like, come on, put her in here, put her in here, put her in here. And I'm like, take the leash.
I thought she was going to run back into the stand and try to get to that drain.
Yeah. But she does not like it when you sneeze. Oh. I was walking and I got some pollen up my nose. And I sneezed, and she just froze.
It's a weird thing. It's almost like
she's looking around like this, like what happened to you? Because that looked like it hurt, and I don't want it happening to me.
You know the old cartoons when somebody's out on the ice, and all of a sudden their legs start to slide, and they stop, like their legs are all spread out like that. Like that's what she does. Her legs are all spread out, and she just stops and starts looking looking at everybody. They're very comical. We've definitely enjoyed.
Now, Thelma is my girl.
Yes.
She and I are thick as thieves. We're buds.
Saturday morning they were drinking coffee together. She was trying to drink coffee out of his coffee mug.
I bet if I could figure out how I could get on her back and if it was comfortable, she would let me ride her.
Oh, I'm sure she would.
Because we'll be standing there like the other morning, we had a hard time getting her up from the stall. And, I don't know if she was just being stubborn or if maybe
Getting her up, she was laying down.
maybe she was, cause it was kind of cold that night and she's 4 years old. So she could have gotten stiff, But, so we got her up and it was scary there for me. It stressed me out, I'm not gonna lie. And, I absolutely just love this cow.
Mm-hmm.
And it stressed me out, but we got her up and so I started walking her around and they were just about done milking, Louise. So we were standing off on the corner. And I was just propped up on her. I just leaned all over her, and she would come back and look at me and rub her head. Yeah. So I'd have to scratch behind her ears. And she's just as sweet as she can be. Mm-hmm. But she has allergies, and never known a cow to have allergies until now. It's the weirdest thing. But when you think about it, they came all the way up there from Virginia. Temperature was a lot cooler, pollen count was different and lower than what it is here. And so she's starting she's still adjusting. She don't get the boogers coming out of her nose or anything now, but she gets the eye boogers a little bit. They're not as bad as they used to be. When we have a bad pollen day, now they'll kind of kick up, but, she's just as sweet as she can be.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, let's get another name drawn here. And we'll kind of come back for a few final thoughts. And this has been quite the evening. Everybody that's in the chat here, if you are not subscribed to Big Bear Homestead, you owe it to yourself to do so. They've got a complete, I'm going to say, modified format in their videos. It's a new Big Bear Homestead. So, anyway, here I got the donut with names on it. Let's give it a spin. I didn't mention this the other thing, but if you are a channel member and your name comes up on the wheel, we will pay your channel membership for that month for whatever your membership is. Mama Z already won that. Mm-hmm. So she not only
get the $2 bill.
She'll get the $2 bill, but we've already paid her membership
for this month. Yeah.
So, but we will send her a $2 bill. So if you feel so inclined as to join, would love to have you. We're gonna get some more things going for that. But what do we have here? City Girl Country Hearts. Send us your.
She won last time.
Telling
ya.
Is she a channel member?
No.
She's not a channel member.
No, well, she's a neighbor.
She keeps winning. She can afford to be a channel member.
That's right.
She said, "Can I just have the donut?" Amen. That's what I'm saying.
We can do that for you, Terry. What kind would you like?
All right. So, Jason, Robin, thank you so much. Yeah, you're always. It's always great to sit down and have a conversation with you two.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
And geez, I can see you're still in that little building down by the pond.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I don't think this will always kind of be our studio. It was one of the buildings that was here on the place when we left it. The guy did IT work, and it was already wired, insulated. I mean, I got to redo the floor because He spent lots of money on wiring and insulating it, and then put up just cheap panels in a cheap floor. But I figured I'll go visit Habitat and get, because I love shopping at Habitat, support Habitat for Humanity. Especially now, so a shout out for Habitat for Humanity with the prices of everything going through the roof like they are.
Yeah.
Habitat is strictly, they take donations from construction companies, people remodeling their house, stuff like that. And you can get some really nice stuff, for, a lot cheaper than what you can get.
We found a bunch of, when we were making cold frames, we bought some windows that they had pulled out of a house, bought the windows to be able to make cold frames. Yeah, like $2 or $4 for a window.
I found my Craftsman table saw, old table saw in there, and I think I paid like $90 for it.
Yeah,
something like that.
Well, even the roll of linoleum that we put in
I paid $5 because I pulled the guy off to the side and I said, "Where is your roll of linoleum that you have for the longest time? That's the ugliest.
It's the ugliest. That's never gonna sell.
That nobody's gonna buy. That you're contemplating throwing it away." And he gave me kind of a strange look and took it to me, and it is ugly. I mean,
but we knew it wasn't. I mean,
it looked like a mixture of 1970 baby vomit and
like peaches and grays, and it's horrible. But it served its purpose. It's where we had our chicks.
And it was a big roll. I said, "What do you want for it?" He's like, "What?" And he goes, "Okay, I gotta ask.
What are you gonna use it for?"
What are you gonna use it for? And I said, "I'm gonna line a brooder box and a chicken house with it and make it easier to clean." And he's like, "Give me $5 and I'll help you a little bit." And so, I mean, that's what we did. Now that wood is protected, that we use the brooder box inside the house, that we literally put dirt in now and we're using it to start seeds.
We were trying to, but there's a flaw in our design. I don't know what, but there's a flaw there somehow.
You got to do crackhead botanist. You got 900 tomato plants. But I mean, stuff like that, you can find stuff like that there, and they've got like what's it called, the laminate flooring that locks in.
They have the panels, and then they've got like ceiling fans, lighting fixtures. Yeah. Sometimes they've got cabinets.
I think I paid $25 for the door that's hanging on the wall in there because you want to do that door picture frame.
It's like $25.
And so, you never know what you can find in there.
Yeah.
And you never know what kind of deal you're going to get because it really depends on how long it's been sitting there. They've always got really good, at least ours, the one in Anderson, always got decent furniture and stuff like that in there. If you're, records guy.
Which I don't know, I'm starting to lose my faith in Goodwill. At least the one in Anderson is good, but like we were down in Augusta just recently, they've gone from, where shoes were like $5 or $6 or whatever, and now they've got, and it didn't matter whether it was Converse or it was, Walmart shoes. They were all $5 or $6 whatever dollars. And I was just at one in Augusta, and they had a pair of Nike tennis shoes, and they wanted like $38 for them. And I'm like, what? Like, how are we doing this? And I was like, is this like the old tag? They're like, no, they're $38. And I'm like, only in Augusta. But yeah, so the thing that I like about what you're saying with Habitat is they definitely they're when we're reasonable, and they're not trying to gouge anybody for anything.
Yeah.
Just trying to.
And it's all done on donations, and then the money that they make, they go and build houses for homeless folks. And I've heard, I don't know how much is true because I didn't fact check or anything. But I heard they are going to even start looking into if they can get like land donated. They're going to build like a tiny home community.
Oh, wow. That would be cool.
Yeah. And so to be able to help homeless vets and homeless people all the way around. And so that's just one of the things that I think is a really good organization. And
So we definitely support them.
Yeah. But I forgot what got us on that train. I don't know.
It doesn't.
All right. Well, Sherry, you got anything else?
No, sir. 10 after 10.
Yep.
You have to get up early. I have a doctor's appointment at 8:30, so I have to get up.
And somebody's live now. Who is it?
Courtney.
Courtney's live now.
Yeah.
So
White Family Farm.
White Family Farm. So, all right, folks. Thanks so much for being here.
I'll get the doc tomorrow. I'll tell him that you said hi, Joe.
Daddy misses him. The doc. Tomorrow's Tuesday.
Okay.
He misses your knees.
I bet. So, everybody have a wonderful week. Hopefully we'll see you here again next Monday night.
Trip H Farm.
Trip H Farm is our guest. So, so everybody take care. Thanks so much for being here, and have a wonderful week. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Good night, y'all.